Welcome to DJM TV.
E don burst o. Here Akin Koko take rubbish Buhari and APC government over subsidy removal.
My correct people, we greet una. Welcome una to DJM TV, una WhatsApp channel wey dey sama una with ogbonge updates, breaking news, updated updates. So abeg my people, if you never subscribe to our YouTube channel, make una rush now, make una go subscribe o, and also turn on that notification bell so that anytime we like say we drop any update like this, una go dey notified gbagam. Our Facebook page, my people, make una follow us and make una dey like, una do well. Anyway my people, make we quickly run enter the tori and update we will carry come for una like this.
Kenneth Okoko don talk am finish o. This time around na Buhari im direct and give o, and APC government sef. According to am im talk say the removal of fuel subsidy no be bad thing o, but the manner wey APC government take remove am, this new administration take remove am, na im be the problem. He say this same Buhari na im talk say fuel subsidy na fraud, but im leave am for 8 years wey e take rule, come let am stay till the month wey be say e go take comot, say just to make sure say im fit put im own party person as person wey go replace am for government. My people, Kenneth Okoko talk for this one no be small. Im finish, he talk everything. Una know as he dey talk am before. This subsidy gbege so he analyse am from the beginning to the end. My people, una need to hear all wetin talk inside this one. Una know as he dey talk. Make I play una this video now, make una watch this video and hear all wetin talk for inside. Make una watch.
Let's get started. What's your response or your thoughts to what Shehu Garba just said regarding the fact that they kept this back because they wanted the current president to win the election? What's your thought about that?
Well, that explains the whole thing about the philosophy behind the party APC. The only thing they think about is the next election, not the next generation. That a man came to power proclaiming subsidy as fraudulent and still sustained the fraud for 8 years just because he doesn't want to lose an election tells you the whole failure that has become APC. As a matter of fact, the present leader, whom he purportedly put in office, said the financial system under his regime was rotten. Don't take my words for it. Take the words of the person he said he installed. Now, what I am saying is that if he had been a statesman, what he would have been thinking about is the next generation. Let me tell you, this same president went to National Assembly and promulgated a law called PIA. And in this law, he said they were going to remove oil subsidy 18 months before the end of his tenure. And cowardly, because they are scared of doing the right thing, he still went back to the National Assembly that has been described as rubber stamp to amend the same law to shift the commencement date to June after he had left office. Let me say it clearly, that the oil subsidy, even as presently constituted, is still a fraud. And I give you my reason. You said you have removed oil subsidy. There was no time in history that they told us that they were paying 215 naira to subsidize oil per liter. So even if, assuming without conceding, that they even say they are paying 250 naira, 250 naira plus 185 gives you about 435. So you mean you are making profit of more than 100 naira to punish a people that have been so traumatized, because the fuel price now is 537. So this APC, in addition to thinking about only election, cannot and do not have what it takes to think about the next generation. And let me put it clear. The former president said they won an election. I respectfully want to say, Mr. President, You were simply implementing the official position of your party before you left office, which is grab power at all costs, snatch it at all costs, fight for it at all costs, and run away with it. They simply ran away with the power that they did not win. And I don't take my words for it. Take the words of one Abdullahi Bangura, the chairman, Sierra Leone Political Parties Regulatory Commission. He said before the election, everybody that was anything in Nigeria supported a P2B. But when the election came differently, P2B called for calm and saved his country from chaos and chose the legal option. Nigeria is the only country where somebody that was supported by everybody that is anything in a country will be declared that he lost. But thank God he's a statesman. He was thinking about the next generation and he called for calm, remembering that no politician's ambition is worth the blood of a Nigerian citizen. Let those that want to grab it at all costs continue. They will have an expiry date. But I tell you that the election is won by somebody that even the international community knows that he won. And even every Nigerian knows that he won. So subsidy is still a scam. And the last president that ran a rotten financial system does not have what it takes to tell us who won the election. At the appropriate time, the world will say who won the election.
Well, thanks for that, Kenneth. And it's a bit of mental whiplash as well, because as we remember during the campaign trail, the former president had the body language, it seems, that didn't really read that he wanted this current president to win. There was also the introduction of the money, the Naira change policy, which was a complete, it was something. And it caused quite a bit of chaos for the campaign. Of course, it was reversed. Either way, APC and their spokespersons are saying, etc. Garba Shehu also did defend Buhari for taking off some subsidies. He included, let me get the list of it, the electricity subsidy, the fertilizer subsidy, the Hajj Christian pilgrimage subsidies, cooking gas, etc. Should those be taken into regard?
You know, anytime I hear about subsidy, anytime I hear about helping the people, I immediately chuckle. Because subsidy is now a nomenclature with which the ruling class used to defraud the people. You heard him also when he established a social investment scheme. And he said he was going to take 100 million people out of poverty. But he ended taking 133.3 million people into poverty. Because the purported sharing of the money was not to the poor, but to the rich. And that is why I do not want to hear anything about sharing the money. I want to hear, if you say you have removed subsidy, I want you not to increase my electricity tariff. Because the only reason you say we should absorb the subsidy is because you said you will use it for electricity. You will use it for roads. You will use it for water. I came out from my house, the light was dark. And you want to increase tariff. Then what are you using for the subsidy? I do not want to hear sharing of money. Please, use this subsidy you have ended. Increase the salaries of the civil servants. Let us see tangible, verifiable, and accountable issues that we can hold you responsible for. Not invisible sharing of money to invisible human beings that lead the poor people into more poverty and enrich the corrupt class in a more intransparent way. So please, I do not like hearing anything subsidy. It has become a nomenclature for corruption. So, as you were saying, even the president at a time passed a vote of no confidence on the people that speak for him. He said they are not doing a great job, and they did not do a great job portraying even the little he did. And you know what? It was not just his spokesperson. Everything about him was a failure. And the failure is being transmitted to the next generation of the leaders he has imposed on us, which have become, even in a very short while, unmitigated disaster.
Okay, so what do you think the president, the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, though I know that the Labour Party is contesting that, but what do you think he should be doing in the coming weeks as your case has been wrapped up? You're expecting their case to be brought before the courts and presented. But during that time, before you have the final answer, what would you like to see the president do to mitigate or to create a palliative of some sort for Nigerians who are struggling and some even dying as a result of this subsidy?
Now, I want to first of all say, you cannot dictate your way out of economic doldrums. You have to plan your way out of it. You have to produce your way out of it. You have to create your way out of it. You have to export your way out of it. Staying somewhere in France, embarking on a private visit to London, and staying there to dictate economic policies does not make it work. They recently said, oh, we are abolishing dual exchange rate, making it single. Oh yes, it ought not to have been there in the first place. But that is not what is going to show up the value of your currency. Now, the value of your currency is predicated on the amount of export you are able to do relative to your import. So, when you plan to produce in order to export, to have self-sufficiency, and then to export through creativity, not borrowing, your currency, automatically the value will go up. So what I am saying is abolishing the dual exchange rate, as pleasant as it may sound, will not increase the value of your currency. I tell you something. Stop importing fuel. Repair the refineries with the money you say you are making now by not paying subsidy. Let us be net exporters of oil so that our foreign exchange will be preserved. When you do that, and that was why when we were campaigning, we said we were going to shift emphasis from consumption to production through a production-centered economy that would lead to agrarian revolution and export-oriented industrialization. When you export, your foreign exchange increases and it will show up the value of your currency. You don't dictate it out of existence. You plan, you organize, you direct, you control your economy to ensure that your currency becomes strong. And let me plead with him. Let him avoid using non-state actors to defile our Aso Rock and then come out to denigrate and disparage our military and police establishments. I am a lawyer to the army, and I take exception to anybody coming out publicly to say 99.9% of the military that they are thieves. I say this because I have defended some officers in the court-martial, and some of them proceeded from there to go and die in the field fighting for us. Around the world, when you talk about army as an institution, what you do is to appreciate them for their sacrifices. And I use this opportunity to tell all the military men and paramilitary that are dying for us, we love you, we appreciate you, you are the best fighting force in Africa, and nobody can take that away from you. Now, the army are mere hands and legs. They are the striking force. They are not the head that determines what they do. It is preposterous. It is very, very ridiculous that you to blame the hands and the legs that are mere striking force without blaming the head that gives the order to what they do. If I am moving my hands and legs, my brain is controlling me. The political class that are issuing the orders, which the army and the police and the paramilitary are obeying at the last order, should be blamed squarely. They are the 99% thieves, and our military, they are the best striking force in Africa. I take exception to allowing non-state actors to denigrate state actors. I use this opportunity to tell them, God bless you for what you're doing. May God protect our troops. We appreciate you and we love you. And nobody can take it away from you.
Hey, my people. Now, you was going to what's going inside this one, though. Anyway, my friend, the updates will carry come from like this video so make una drop a comment and send a reason and make una don't forget to like and share. Una do well. See you in our next video. DJ